And then you have all these other houses that are homeless, but you over here at some point when you do get a wife, if you do, I'm saying if that's what you want, you will, you'll get whatever you want, you're trying to create a home. Totally dysfunctional and extremely, that's the epitome of selfish. Epitome of selfish.
So former NFL quarterback Cam Newton got eaten alive by a psychologist who he was interviewing on his show when the subject came up of him having 8 children with 3 baby mamas. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
All right, guys, before we get into today's video, please like and subscribe. You know, the subject matter of broken homes comes up quite a bit on this channel. We've spoken about Nick Cannon, Elon Musk, and today we're going to talk about Cam Newton. And also, Cam Newton is no stranger on this channel. We've criticized his views on race and politics, and now we're going to criticize his views on creating broken homes. This man has 8 children with 3 different baby mamas, and he's trying to defend these actions when interviewing a doctor and psychologist by the name Cheyenne Bryant, and she does not take it one bit. Let's watch the clip.
A lot of people see my situation and not think that I'm not high functioning.
What situation?
See my situation? That's a very vague question, and it's for you
what
to
What situation are you referring to that they're looking at and thinking is not high functioning?
Just my life.
Your life entirely, or your life in relationships?
My life.
See, don't deflect. Let's stay here. Your life entirely, or your life in relationships?
I can already tell he's outmatched. He tried to pull a little joke. He's trying to hyper-intellectualize something that is very simple. And she said, don't deflect. Let's bring it back together. Like training a pet, to be honest. She said, bring it back. Bring the attention back. Let's talk about this.
Both, really.
And they think that you're low functioning.
No, I don't.
You just said people see your life and think you're not high functioning. The opposite of that would be low functioning.
No. Okay, so here you go. You're trying to take my intentions away from, this is, can I correct it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Or can I give you more?
Yes, more information. Heck yeah.
So, I'm not married, right? I have beautiful children.
How many?
8.
I didn't do my research. I thought it was 4, but 8, okay.
No, baby.
Cool.
It's
By how
8.
many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more.
Oh my gosh,
now,
that is a kicker indeed. Okay, the only kicking that Cam Newton needs to be doing is in the NFL. Stop kicking babies into new women. Oh my gosh, please. You know what? We go back and forth on this channel and my thoughts about marriage and whether or not I'm personally a supporter of marriage in my own life. But what I am a supporter of 100%, and I'll say this very clearly, is sticking with one person and having your children with that person and trying to make things work for those kids instead of going around and creating 8 different children with 3 different women. That's a lot. It's a lot of work, and I guarantee you it's work that Cam Newton is not doing.
By multiple women? What's the intent of this saying about your wife?
I just want God to bring him.
Oh, okay. And you have, so you just...
Because my point is this. My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce. So, as you had said, Dr. Bryant, you said it, I didn't say it, I will agree. I'm just taking my time.
Whoa, okay. Cam, if you don't want to get married, okay, cool. We can have a discussion about that. But maybe stick with one woman for your children instead of running around and fornicating with as many as you possibly can, just willy-nilly going around and creating children. Maybe we stick to one.
You're not taking your time.
I am, though.
You're being very action-based. You're not taking your time.
Eat 'em up, eat 'em up.
You're being very action-based.
I'm taking my time.
You're being very action-based. You have 8 kids with 3 different women.
Yes.
You are creating, procreating, and multiplying. That is not taking your time. You're being very selectively active, okay? So you're creating, and disclaimer, the kids are innocent, they are beautiful and amazing. Anything I say has nothing to do with them babies, because I can't wait to be a mom, and I love the kids, period. But you are proactively choosing where you want to be active at and where you want to take your time. You want to take your time in having a wife because of your own fears. But you will, and I say this with all respect and love, what I'm about to say next, okay, Cam? But you will selfishly create broken families, even if you're in their life and you're a proactive father, and I believe you're an amazing daddy. I can only imagine with just your presence and knowing you thus far. But these families are still broken.
I love that she put it to him respectfully. She said, I'm just going to talk to you straight. And you know what? Here, the little, I don't know if we call it a compliment sandwich or an insult sandwich at this point. It's kind of like, I'm sure you're a great father and all the things that you can do and you're capable of doing, but what you're doing is very, very selfish. And I think a lot of men, particularly of Cam Newton's caliber, and when I say caliber, I'm not talking about necessarily their moral compass. I'm more so talking about the fame and the status that they have. They think because I've reached a certain amount of elitism within society, I can just go around and do whatever I want, create as many kids as I want. I have the resources, I have the status, the women are willing and able, and they're popping out these children. So I'm just going to go about my business without committing to any of them, whether that is, a verbal and action-based commitment, or it's something legal like a marriage. And it doesn't work out specifically for the most vulnerable party in the situation, which is the children, let alone the fact that it doesn't work out for the woman. And really, Cam is the one coming out on top because he can just go around and do whatever he wants. And I hold this opinion across the board. The Nick Cannons of the world who have millions of dollars and are going around creating so many babies that his Christmas, I bet on December 25th, is a Zoom call with over 100 different parties on it. He needs to chill out too. Doesn't matter how much money you have. And, a lot of people will say, you're gonna just attack the black men who are doing this, the Nick Cannons, the Cam Newtons. No. I'm gonna give it to Elon Musk too. That man is a billionaire with a B, and he's going around impregnating all these different women, saying that he's doing it in order to save the human population, and this is just something that's necessary. Okay, if it's necessary, could you do it with one woman? Could you slow your roll in creating broken homes, despite your resources, and chill with one woman? Create as many kids as you want, but keep that structural integrity that is necessary to build a great life for a child, and that involves mommy and daddy being in the household and being there for them, and you can't possibly do that. No matter how many resources you have, how much fame you have, how much status you have, you can never fully be there for the amount of children that you're creating with the amount of women that you are creating them with. So I'm so glad that this doctor is not beating around the bush and she's coming straight to him and telling him, no, this is selfish.
Every child cannot have Papa in the house with them. So some child, if not all, will end up with some kind of deficit without daddy being there. Now, you chose to do that. I'm not saying you sat there and woke up one morning and said, I want to be selfish today, so I'm going to go make a baby. Not saying that at all. But those are selfish acts at the expense of your fear. So at what point do you feel the fear, do it anyways? And yeah, that is a low functioning behavior. To say that I am going to create these homes. Let me go better. I'm going to build these houses and put kids and these beautiful women and kids in them, but I ain't going to create a home in them. I'm going to wait till I dissipate my fear to find a wife where I'm still going to be fearful with, because there's no such thing as not having some type of nerve or some type of feeling behind marrying somebody who you're spending your life with. And then I'm going to build a home with her while all these other beautiful babies have houses. That's completely unfair and it's selfish.
Just tell me when I can solve.
Yeah, almost. That's completely unfair and that's selfish. And so, yes, you're taking your time in this department, but you're not taking your time in this department, which means you're compartmentalizing.
I love that she said, oh my gosh, she's eating him up, but she's doing it so beautifully. I love that she's talking about how this sort of fear that he may have towards a long-term commitment is not necessarily one that's going to dissipate with time. And it might not necessarily be something that goes away, or at least that thought that may nag you in the back of your brain, and probably nags not only the back of the brains of many men, but many women too. It's hard to grapple with this idea of committing to one person for the rest of your life, not knowing all that entails, not knowing how the relationship is going to evolve, not knowing what you're going to want, recognizing all these different temptations that you have. But I think the strength in manliness and in masculinity, and for women it shows up in their own way, is conquering that fear and saying, you know what, I'm going to man up, I'm going to make a commitment to somebody, especially if I'm going to bring children into the world. I'm going to do right by these kids. Now it's a whole nother thing if you decide you want to be a bachelor and a playboy and you never bring kids into the world, and that's the life that you want to lead, and you can lead that for as long as it feels healthy and happy for you. But as soon as you bring kids into the world, your life is no longer about you, it's about them. And sacrifice comes with that responsibility, and you have to hold yourself accountable. And it seems as though Cam Newton is not ready to hold himself accountable, but let's wait and hear his response, because maybe he'll turn a new leaf.
And compartmentalizing never works. Compartmentalizing hurts everybody involved. Everybody who's in this box and that box and this box and that box and this box. And then here you go over here trying to figure out what box you're going to feed or entertain or do. Then you're looking outside to figure out who's your next victim to put in the box. It's unhealthy.
And I want to point out that the victims are really the children. It also must be called out that there are women who are willingly engaging with Cam Newton in this way, who are willingly bringing children into the world, and they should never do that in the first place. They should exercise discernment and know that this is a man who you should not make a baby with, and yet they do it anyways. There's so many different cycles of dysfunction taking place, and who gets affected the most? That little baby. That little child.
And it's a huge dysfunction within our Black community that I truly believe personally, statistically, mental health-wise, and community-wise, that Black men would stop.
Black men would what?
Stop doing that, that they would stop that dysfunctional behavior of compartmentalizing and creating houses, not homes, and then finally a home with the wife, and then you have all these other houses that are homeless. But you over here, at some point when you do get a wife, if you do, I'm saying if that's what you want, you will. You'll get whatever you want. You're trying to create a home. Totally dysfunctional and extremely, that's the epitome of selfish. Epitome of selfish. I'm done, you can go for it.
Okay, say less. All right, so what identifies as a broken home?
I'm sorry. Cam Newton is trying so hard to come off as an intellectual here. What identifies as a broken home? I don't even need to explain that. I'll just leave it.
What you have going on with these, whoever you're not in the house with, is a broken home. It's called a blended family. It's called a blended family.
That means?
That the family is blended. So blended
So blended means broken?
Yeah.
Okay. So the guy that you were entertaining, you would go as low as 26.
That I would entertain?
Yes.
Got it, okay.
And as high as what age?
Whatever man that doesn't have kids.
As high as?
Whoever doesn't have kids, whatever age he is with no kids.
I just.
No, that's the age. I'm saying I don't have an age range as far as how old. If he has no kids,
So your
he's a
non-negotiable is a person who does not have children.
Oh, goodness. He's trying so hard. I really must give it to him. I also gotta say, he should not be listened to on this subject matter. It's so clear he should not be listened to on this subject matter, and I get that it's his podcast. He gets to take the conversation wherever it goes, but man, for so many reasons, including the fact that he has a hat on that he has cut a hole in order to push his dreads through. That alone should tell you this conversation was over before it began. I'm sorry. Oh.
My non-negotiable is a person with kids, but yes, I get how you're saying it, yes.
So you cannot date a person. You cannot be with a person.
I can, but I'm choosing not to.
So
I can be with anyone, but I'm choosing not to.
You're
I gotta correct it. It's my narrative, Cam.
You're
I
like
can,
jumping in, jumping out. It's either.
Cam, no, it's not I can't. There's no such thing. I can date whoever I want. I am definitely well equipped to do so.
Okay.
So I'm not going to allow that word to be something that fits what I can't do. I'm well equipped to date anybody.
Yes.
My preference,
Yes.
because there's nothing wrong with a lot of men who have kids, so I don't want to put that narrative out there.
Yes.
My personal preference is I would not choose to date a man with kids.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're dating a man with kids. Just a scenario.
Oh, okay, got it. Yes.
You're dating a man with kids.
Yes.
So you've identified that that's a broken home from the jump. With your
Yes.
verbiage of blended family means broken.
I've identified that I'm dating a broken man who is creating who he is, because we could teach what we know, we create who we are. And so broken people create brokenness, whether it's through a child, whether it's through a relationship, whether it's through themselves. It doesn't have to be a beautiful baby, but you're creating brokenness. And broken people can come from married households. I'm not saying that a two-parent household can't create the result of a child who then has brokenness and creates broken blended families everywhere. I'm not negating that.
That's not my point.
No, I know, I'm making that point. But yes.
But my point
My
He can't even follow a discussion in healthy conversation well enough to understand when somebody's making their own separate point and in no way, shape, or form attacking the points that he is attempting to make, even though by the very end of this, we will decide he really has no point except wanting to defend himself, defend his actions. And I'm thinking maybe an underlying attraction to this woman, and he just can't accept the fact that she would not date him or sleep with him. That seems to be something that's driving his pushback. He really wants her to admit that there is some scenario in this reality where she would date a man who has children, and she's telling him outright there is no scenario in which this is going to happen. And I like that she says that dysfunction can be born out of so many different scenarios, including nuclear families and in a two-parent household. But when we look at, single-parent households, specifically parents where it's just a single mom and there's no father in the household, fatherlessness is a huge issue, and it ups your likelihood of so many different problems. It ups your likelihood of experiencing homelessness, imprisonment, both being a victim of abuse and a perpetrator of abuse. Your rate of chronic illness, things like obesity, diabetes goes up when you don't have a father in the household. Your likelihood of dropping out of high school, never seeing the inside of a college, all of these different things that can, set you on a wrong path in life. The statistical likelihood of those things happening increases if you don't have a father in the home. So this is the risk that Cam Newton is taking on for his children. It's a risk that his children have now incurred because of his selfishness and his inability to lead his life without creating children. And that is, as she said, the epitome of selfishness.
Answer is, I not only identify that those homes are houses without a home because he's not in them,
Yeah.
but also that he's a broken man.
But you're going to be with a broken man.
No, I won't. I just said I wouldn't be with a man. I wouldn't be with a broken man who has multiple kids. I will take
No, not multiple. I'm talking
a kid. It doesn't matter.
So you're not going to date a man with children.
He just cannot accept this reality. He cannot accept what she is saying. The answer is hell no. I'm not gonna date a man that has kids. And he just can't fathom it. And maybe it's because he's been so successful in building relationships with women who do not care that he's going around creating broken homes. And that's an indictment on their character as much as it is an indictment on his character. We need to start exercising more discernment when it comes to who we engage with. And we should not allow men like this to just run around getting all these baddies and making them into baby mamas. Should not allow it.
No, but let me clear this up because you said I won't date a broken man. That's not what I said.
No, I said, listen to what I'm saying.
I heard you. Let me answer it. Hold on. We all have a level of brokenness. So will I date a broken man? Yes. Am I going to date a certain type of brokenness? No.
Of course you're not.
And that type of brokenness is a man who has kids outside of me isn't something that's conducive for what I want forever.
But will you date him?
No.
So that goes to my point. I'm trying to ask a question. You have two different men right here. One man who has...
I will not date a man with kids.
Okay, that's all I'm asking.
Yes.
Okay, that's it. Was that all you were asking, Cam? Was that all you were asking? He really wanted to make some sort of point here, and I can't figure out what it was. Is it really that he wants this woman to admit that he would have a chance at the end of the day? Is he running away from his own actions so much and he can't accept his own selfishness that he really needs to hear her say that there is a world in which she would date a man with kids? Maybe that's what it is. But she's got him. She hit the nail right on the head in telling him that what you've done is selfish. You are a broken man and you are creating broken homes as a result of your own brokenness. And so many people need to hear that. And I think a lot of these men don't necessarily get confronted face to face with their actions and with the consequences of their actions. And that's something that is necessary. And he might not yet be in a position to take accountability for what he's done. But I hope that one day he is. Him alongside all the Nick Cannons and the Elon Musks and every other person who is deciding to really perpetuate this ill onto society of creating broken homes with broken outcomes. It's a message that many many need to hear. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. Those are my thoughts on everything going on with Cam Newton and this brilliant Dr. Cheyenne. She was fantastic. Shout out to her. I want to thank her for just being straightforward and not being afraid to go there in the conversation. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, if you disagree with anything that was said in this video, you can duke it out in the comments down below, but do so respectfully. We want to encourage healthy debate on this channel. And if you like this video, like, subscribe, click the notification bell to be notified every single time I post a video for you guys, which is every day, and I will see you next time. So you're saying you wouldn't date a man who has kids? Clear that up for me in the comments down below. Bye, guys.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.